Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Um, just wanted to go ahead and make a quick little video. It's Saturday right now. I want to let you all know a little bit about my trades, what positions I closed out, what positions I opened up coming into this week, and just give you pretty much an overall overview of how the market's doing, considering we've had all these news come out about the CFO of Huawei getting arrested and everything that's going on with the European Union and all the new policies. So let's get right to it. So basically, I just want to delete all these lines actually to get started, so just bear with me. I always love to just start off by looking at the SPY, the S&P 500. It gives me a general overview of where the market's going, and then, I trade some options and a couple of penny stocks, but for the most part, when it comes down to the options, I focus on SQ, I focus on Nvidia, Apple, Facebook, PayPal. So obviously if the S&P 500 is dipping, then all of those stocks are going to be dipping as well. As you can tell, everything is red pretty much when it comes down to Facebook, PayPal, SQ, IQ, Etsy, This is what I have on my watch list. I don't try to overwhelm myself too much when it comes down to my watch list. I always like to stick to maybe a couple of stocks, and I trade them pretty much day in and day out. So let's get started here. So I love to look at the 4-hour, 180-day EMA chart. I have a couple of indicators here. So I have the blue line is going to be the 15 moving average, exponential moving average. I also have the simple moving average right down here. The 180 simple moving average is the gold line. And then once I dive into like a 1-day, 1-minute chart, I have the VWAP. So the purple line or the pink line is the middle VWAP, and the yellow line is the bottom VWAP, and this burgundy maroon line is the top VWAP. So here I'm able to determine if the sellers are in control, if it's below the middle VWAP and in between the low VWAP, or if the buyers are in control, the top VWAP and in between the middle VWAP. So as you can tell here, we started off the day pretty strong, ramped up to 271, and then came back down. It was making this wedge formation. I should have taken a put position, but I didn't. Sometimes the SPY is just very irrational. But it was a great setup there with the descending triangle, nice little wedge, broke to the downside, broke the bottom, the middle VWAP as well to the downside, and it just began to sell off for the rest of the day, as you can see here. So my first position that I closed out was Nvidia. So Nvidia was, if we take a look at the 100-day 4-hour chart, Nvidia is of course selling off. It's downtrending pretty nicely. I did draw this trend line from the 292 area all the way down to the down to the 257 area. So I had a great put in this. I had bought a 150 strike price put for, I believe, like 158, just one contract, just not too much capital being invested there. And I bought it. This was on 11/30th, which I believe was last Friday. Then the market opened higher. It gapped up. My contracts were pretty much worthless at that point. But I had faith that it was going to go down, and I ended up selling right in this area around the 157 area, and that was when the contract was worth about 220. So I profited about $62 on that. It ended up going even lower, and today it hit lows of 145. Or yesterday, Friday, hit lows of 145. So I would have made a very decent profit on that if I would have held them, but you never really know. Second position that I closed out was on Cron. So if we look at we'll look at the 15-minute. So Cron made a big move back on, this was a third. This Friday, Thursday, Tuesday, Monday, made a big move, highs of 1190, and then a kind of was coming down. So right in this general area, I bought a $11 put. I bought 3 of them actually. They were each worth 65 cents, so $65, controlling 100 shares. And I ended up selling them right into this morning dip right in here around the 970 area. And I think I sold them for about $40 profit. And I held one of the contracts, fortunately, into yesterday. Market gapped up Cron gapped up. I'm sorry. And yeah, I ended up selling that for that contract pretty much worthless actually. So I lost about $65 on that, and put me down about $20 on that overall position. What I am looking forward to for this coming week is going to be, let's see what I have going on. I have a Goose 63. No, it's let's see. Come on. 63. Not exactly sure, but I think it's a 64 strike price call. I had bought it in this general area thinking that it would bounce off the 61.90 area and ramp back up. Unfortunately, it did not do that. So I'm waiting to see if it will bounce off of this SMA. As you can tell from previous patterns, it did bounce off of this SMA here, and then ramped up to $72. So we'll see how it plays out. And the calls don't expire until Friday, so I do have some time on those. Although if I have to play defense, I will. And if it breaks below that SMA, maybe I'll give it a little bit of time. But for the most part, I might just close out my position and take a loss there. Also, I was looking at Cron again, actually. So as you can tell, it gapped up and it hit highs of 1457. This was pre-market on Friday, and it just did not hold those levels. It did sell off. It does have some pretty significant news about, I think it was Marlboro. And let's see. Resume trading, pending. Let's see. So yeah, here's the news here. It says the Cronos CEO $1.8 billion from big tobacco is just beginning from cannabis industry. So you can read a little bit about the news here. So that was the news of it, although it couldn't hold this level. So, just have a $13 put there that I'm planning to sell down to around this 1185 area that I drew out as the previous support. We'll see if it reaches that or breaks below. Either way, I think I bought the calls for $1.15, so $115. I'm willing to risk. For the most part, it's not too much of an investment either. And I also have an I call that I've been holding for a little bit now. This one doesn't expire until December 21st, so I have about 2 weeks on it. I drew this trend line down here, so it's approaching that. If it breaks below, I'll cut my losses, but maybe hoping for a bounce here. I bought the calls in this general area, right around here actually, I think. And I was hoping that it was going to bounce off of this upward trending line, although it didn't, and it broke below. So due to the fact that I do have some time on it, I'm going to let it play out and see how it goes. So for the most part, on overall for SPY, it is very oversold on the RSI, as you can tell here, and the MACD as well is caving inwards a little bit, so we might see it, ramp up. So maybe some calls will be profitable later on coming into Monday, although you have to be very careful. The market is most likely going to gap down, just based on news and, how the market's pretty much been. But it is at a relatively low area. We might fall into a different range down into the high 50s, low 60s area, or it might bounce a little bit, and we'll see if it goes into the 268 area. So that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to for the rest of the week. I'll let you guys know exactly how everything plays out. I think I'll make a video maybe Monday or Tuesday. Maybe I'll make a technical analysis video, or the things that I try to do as a beginner trader to really maximize my odds, or what I focus on when it comes down to emotion and taking losses or taking gains, not getting too greedy when it comes down to the market. All right. Just want to say again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hope to see you guys next time. All right. Happy trading. Stay green.